Hello, welcome to the McLaren GT. Okay, so I've literally just this second just picked the car up from McLaren New Forest, who very kindly lent it to me for a little while, and we're going to see what this car is all about. Because I haven't seen an awful lot of press about the GT car, so that would mean that probably not an awful lot of people know about it. So I thought I'd better show you guys. A GT car then, a Grand Tourer. So that is something that can cover continents rather, very easily. It's quiet, easy to live with, on some levels practical. So over the few days that I've got this car, I think I'll do a living with series. I'm going to use this car as my everyday car and see what it is like to live with a McLaren GT. Anyway, let's show you what the car looks like from the outside. As you may be able to tell, I'm in a forest car park, so I'm just driving out of that now. So there's potholes and lumps and bumps and everything all over the place. Gravel car park. You wouldn't dare bring a normal McLaren into here, but testament to the GT, it's easy. There's plenty of ground clearance, so it's really nice. I can't see, this might have nose lift, I can't tell at the moment, I'll have a proper look later, but if it does have it, it doesn't need it. What is really nice about this car is that the side pods, the air intakes on the side of the car are absolutely massive. They're sort of, but they're not massive as in an inconvenience, and they're huge and wide, but they're just really nice to look into the wing mirror and see these great big muscular open-mouthed air intakes. It reminds you that you are in a proper supercar. So let's drop a cog or two. We are in active and in track performance mode, track powertrain mode, whatever it calls it. So let's see third gear what it's like. Ooh, yes. This is a quick car. Obviously it's a quick car, it's got 620 horsepower and it only weighs 1.5 tons. So it's no surprise that it picks up and goes like a stabbed rat. This car could be a lot of fun, but at no point during this journey so far has it felt unstable, unsafe, unsteady. It rides the bumps so well. They fitted softer springs to this on the front, and you can really feel it. You can definitely. It feels so stable because you're not bashing over bumps. It absorbs them, and you feel so much more confident in the car. So the engine then, it is a 4-litre twin-turbo V8. Essentially the same motor that's in the 720S. Slightly different plumbing and probably a different tune on it as well, so it produces slightly less power, but that's kind of what you want. The 720 is the race car really, but it sits above the 570. This car basically sits between the 570 and the 720, but a GT, so comfy and nice and luxurious. And it really feels it. The steering wheel, unusually for modern cars, is just a steering wheel. It doesn't have loads of buttons and switches and modes and indicators and all sorts of things on it. It's just a steering wheel, and it's quite nice. It's quite refreshing in a way. The paddles, you guys know I love an aluminium paddle. Listen, proper aluminium, thick aluminium paddles. Really nice to hold, really nice to press, cold to the touch. McLaren have still got a lot of switches, levers and things behind the steering wheel, which can be a little confusing until you've got used to it, but if you bought the car you would get used to it quite quickly. It sounds really good, this car. I don't know why I'm so surprised. It's a twin turbocharged V8, so it should sound good, but in a weird way, because McLaren have made this like the GT, which is supposed to be quieter and more comfortable, you sort of lose. Obviously, it's still a carbon tub like all other McLarens, but they've carpeted it and they've put leather everywhere, and it's sort of taken away the. It's hard to describe what it sounds like, but if you've ever driven a car with a carbon tub, you'll know what I mean. They're sort of echoey and loud, and that's just the nature of them. They all sound like that. But in carpeting this and putting leather all over the place, you've lost that, and now you can hear the engine properly, and it sounds really nice. Okay, I'm just sat in a bit of traffic now, so I thought I'd tell you about the inside of this car. It's really, really nice. It doesn't feel, I mean, it feels very McLaren-y, but there's a lot more luxury in here. These roof lights, or roof, I don't know what they call them, but it's basically a pan roof. It's part of, is it part of the door? No, it's not part of the door. But you can make them, there's buttons up here where you can dim them. See, I don't know if you can tell that that's dimming, but that's a lot darker there now. Or you can make them lighter. Clever bit of glass. So yeah, the interior fit and finish is really nice. The leather that they're using is lovely. It's very comfortable in here, extremely comfortable. As some of you may know, my daily car is a 911, Porsche 911. Before that, I had a Audi R8 V10 Plus. Now they were both sports cars, potentially a supercar, if you want to call it that, in the R8's case. And you could use them every day. I did use them every day. I still do. So let's see how this McLaren fits into that category. A normal McLaren, I mean, you could, in theory, use it every day, but would it be comfortable to use every day? No. This one, even just the short amount of time that I've spent with it so far, I can tell you is so much more comfortable, so much more refined than any other McLaren that I've ever been in. It really feels like a turning point for them in terms of making an everyday car. They've always been amazing at making supercars, hypercars, ridiculously fast, savage bits of machinery. But for the daily stuff, haven't always been the best. This car feels like it might just change that. Also, I've got to say the infotainment system has, I think it's been upgraded for this car. I've certainly never come across it in any other McLaren that I've driven. It feels so much more modern, basically. It's faster, it's just, you press a button and it actually goes to that thing instantly. Whereas older ones, you press it, wait half an hour, and then it goes to that page. But it's really good, and you've got settings for ambient lighting and things like that, which I'm sure we'll try out tonight or over the next few days once when I take it out in the evening, perhaps. Dials are pretty clear, pretty clear to understand. You've got a rev counter in the middle with the speed and gears inside of that, petrol off to the side with oil and water temperatures, and currently I've got the trip computer on that side as well. This car incidentally has done 5,000 miles. This was one of the original press cars when McLaren launched it, so I'm sure it's had a bit of a hard life with journalists absolutely spanking it. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be, like I said, driving it and seeing if you can use it as an everyday car. So far so good. No unwelcome rattles, bangs, crashes. It just feels like a well put together car, which, you know, I don't want to go and say McLaren aren't well put together, but what I will say is they've taken a big leap forward with this car so far anyway into my test. Bowers & Wilkins stereo, always a welcome addition. And there's speakers on the side, on the doors, lower doors, up on there's some tweeters in the pillars there, and on in the front, so, and in the back as well actually. So I can't try the sound system whilst I'm recording, because otherwise I'll get done for copyright on the music. But I was playing with this earlier, this roof. I don't know if you can see it from where you are. It might be wide enough. But it's so nice to have that roof, that glass roof above your head. It's something that you don't get in other supercars, and it feels so much more spacious. One slight negative that I've found so far in this car, and it's not just on this, other McLarens do it as well, but I think it's just a case of getting used to it. The brakes for me feel a bit, when you first get on them, they feel a little bit wooden, and then you do get some feel through them. But I believe the steel brakes on these, not carbon ceramic brakes, which is unusual for McLaren. You can certainly have carbon ceramics as an optional extra, but I believe these are steel fitted to this car. So yeah, they do feel a little wooden when they're cold. I guess it's just a case of getting used to it. And the other thing is that the pedal box is quite small. Again, something that you would get used to, but when you're first getting used to driving a McLaren, you do notice that the pedals are quite close together. So you may accidentally, if you've got a big pair of shoes on, if you're driving it in a pair of boots, you may find that you touch both pedals at the same time accidentally. So let's continue on this little road trip. I probably won't film again now until it's the evening. I may go and show a couple of friends the car. Let's see what they think of it. Depending on if we can shoot in low light, or probably no light by that point actually. So yeah, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, so finished work now. I've been to the gym, which is why I'm dressed like this, and now at a shopping car park to show you that you can actually use this thing to go shopping in, because it is, if I find the key, has the big boots in the front down there. Now that's bigger, definitely bigger than the boot in my Porsche. And what what you don't get in the Porsche. Oh, Christ, man. Oh, Christ, I don't know how to do that. I'll just slam that in a minute. But you've also got a rear boot as well, as you can see here. Powered boot with lots of space in the back here for longer items. So if you like going to the golfing pitch or something. It's also got like forged carbon all around here, which is nice and warm as well. So yeah, can be practical as well. That's good. Good morning. It is day 2 with the McLaren. Let me just set everything up. Let's warm the car up a bit and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Okay, so things I have noticed so far include, well, I actually went out last night, so I'm really tired. I know I look dreadful, darling. I went out in it last night, did a little bit of filming, but it's just way too dark. The footage is too dark, so that will never be seen. But yeah, I went to the gym, picked a couple of mates up, went out for a little drive, did a bit of shopping. So like it's practical. There's a very usable boot in the front, a pretty decent boot in the back as well. Going to the gym was fine, but I will say, when you're parking, and this goes for here as well in my flat car park, because the doors open up and out, they do open quite wide. Obviously a regular door, that's telling me my windscreen washer fluid's low. A regular door opens wider like that, but you can like open it quarter of a way and squeeze in, can't you? But with this, it's harder to do that because it's over your head. So bear that in mind if you have to regularly park somewhere where you're in a small spot. That might not be ideal. But on the subject of getting into the car, this is so much easier than any other McLaren. The other ones, they've got a massive, great big sill. Well, I don't know if you can see. This here has a much smaller sill and it's a lot lower, and I feel like the seat's higher. So to get in, it feels a lot easier before you have to sort of step over the sill and then jump right down into the seat. But yeah, so that's a plus point for sure. What I also noticed last night, which I'll try and get some footage of if I can, but you can make this car make some really incredible noises when you're going onto the turbo, and then if you come off it just as the boost builds, but before you've changed gear, it sounds like an old rally car. It sounds like you know, a proper like WRC turbo chatter and all sorts of really cool like noises from the 1990s. Yeah, it sounds good. Also, another note on ground clearance, it is brilliant. I've not had to. This car does have nose lift. I used it a couple of times just to be safe, and then I forgot a couple of times and didn't use it, and it's still absolutely fine. Like going into my car park there, my Porsche always like just about scrapes its nose, well, the bit under the nose. But this, no problem at all. So yes, I've only got a very short morning commute. One thing that I have noticed, and my friends all noticed when I showed them the car last night, is that there's a really loud whine in here, and I think we've tracked it down to being the power steering pump or something. It's like a high-pitched whine. I don't know if you can pick it up, but this is a pre-production car, so things like that would be ironed out by the production model. It's just one of the quirks of driving pre-production. So yeah, I won't go on and on. This is, can you do a morning commute in it? Yes, you can. Very, very easily. Cruising along now, 30 miles an hour. I'm in 4th gear. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's refined. It's visibility brilliant in this car as well. That's something else that you don't get in other supercars. But the bonnet sort of just drops away, and so you've got a great view out the front, the sides, great big windows, loads of visibility. The rear is a very unique view out of the rear window. It's sort of a tunnel. You get like a tunnel vision right down to the rear window, which also sort of slopes away and gets smaller as it goes down. So it's quite a unique look out the rear window. Now, I happen to know that this road that I'm on now is horrendous for bumps, and yes, I am bumping around, but it's not uncomfortable. It's rides. I can't get over how comfortable this car is for the way it looks. Another thing on the way it looks, it's a definite head turner. People really like the look of this car. It doesn't look as wild as other McLarens. There's no huge, great big wings anywhere, but it looks classy. It looks really nice. I think when I saw pictures of it, I've got to be honest, I wasn't blown away by them. I thought it looked a little bit soft on the front, particularly the headlights, but when you see it in person, it's totally different. It looks amazing. It's really, it's an elegant looking car. Okay, right, well that just about wraps up my morning commute. Nice and easy, isn't it? 5 minutes, happy days. And I'm going to leave it here. See you in a bit. So just heading out to the gym in the McLaren, just filming this on my phone, so I'm not sure how well it's going to come out, but I wanted to show you what I meant about the doors opening wide. So that's, if you can see there, that is where my space ends. But to get into it, there's no way I could get in that gap there. To open it fully, it goes right over there. And luckily my neighbour has parked quite far over her side of the space. Otherwise, you're stuck. Yeah, there you go. There's a little demo. Another little quirk that I should point out, by the way, just check out the interior lighting. It's very nice indeed. All around here, it's all lit up, and down here in the footwell as well. Another little quirk. This may again be to do with the fact that it's a pre-production model, but the fuel gauge seems to just have a mind of its own. It says I've got 0 miles of range. When I parked up about half an hour ago, it said I had, I think, 70 miles of range. Sort of makes up what it wants in terms of how much range you've got, but I guess that's fairly normal, but not by that much of a margin. Good morning. It is the last day with the McLaren today. I'm just shooting this video now because I've got to take it back tonight and it's probably going to be too dark. I'm also shooting up my phone because my GoPro seems to have just died for some reason, no idea why. Yes, so final thoughts on this car to wrap the video up. It's unbelievable. It's really good. It's impressed me so much. I really didn't think that it would be this good. It's so much better than any other McLaren I've ever driven. Yes, the others ever so slightly faster, but on the road you don't need that. And it's just like, it's so comfortable, and you can really use it every single day. Yeah, it's just brilliant. McLaren, like, there's no build quality issues whatsoever. There's a few niggles here and there, but I think that's down to the fact that this is a pre-production car. So I'm not going to hold that against it. Really cool features, like this roof is so like good. I'm just dimming it now. Little features like that, great technology included in it. You might go, oh, what's the point in that? But if it's a really hot sunny day and you don't want the sun beating down on you, you can like tint the glass. That's so cool. It's such a good idea. What else is good? Ground clearance is great. You can use this car every day. You go over speed bumps, it doesn't matter. Not like any other supercar where you're going really slowly and you still grind the nose, even if you got nose lift up in some cars. Yeah, it's quiet, it's refined, it's comfortable, but when you want it to go and drive like a nutcase, it does. It feels old school, you know. It feels like, because you got all that power going through the rear wheels, everything these days is so safe, it's so four-wheel drive, and like, it's just a bit boring, but this, it feels old school. So I really like that. Some people might not. I really like that. You feel connected to the car when you're driving it. You feel part of the machine. So yeah, really nice. Today I've got to go. Today I've got to go and film the. What am I filming today? Audi RS6, new model Audi RS6. So that'd be really interesting to see. Also, because I'm filming on my phone, I don't really know where to look. I suppose I should look there. That's where the lens is, isn't it? But I'm getting distracted by my own face, which I don't normally see on the GoPro. So yeah, I'm looking at the Audi RS6 today, and then I'm going to drive the Tesla Model X P100D Ludicrous. So that'll be fun. Yeah, so see those videos very soon. So many videos coming up. I've got like edit them and get them out on shorter edits for IGTV, and then longer ones for YouTube, and then by that point I'm already shooting another one and doing my normal part of the job as well. So it's all a bit much at the minute, so I'm trying to sort of keep on top of things so you can see as much content as possible, as quickly as possible. So anyway, so I don't start rambling, McLaren GT. Oh yeah, I should tell you the price is way cheaper than I thought. Like, the whole time I've been driving this, I've been thinking, oh, it's probably 250,000, and like I was justifying, just going, oh, it's pretty good really. Like for that price, that's a fair price. I've now found out the prices of these start at 163,000. That just seems like the bargain of the century for a brand new McLaren. Obviously it's still a lot of money, but I think that's going to tempt people out of certain cars. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a rival for like a proper GT, like a Bentley GT, or like a Ferrari F12 or 812. That's like, they're a different GT class, or like an Audi, not an Audi, Aston Martin DBS or something. That's a different sort of GT. This feels more supercar-y. They feel more like comfortable and like long distance-y. I know that doesn't really make sense, but that's what they do. And what else? Yeah, so I've completely lost my train of thought, but yeah, I think this will tempt people out of things like Audi R8s potentially. The price difference isn't enormous between the two, depending on spec obviously. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.